Thank you all so much for being here today. It could be like a last session, right? For this event. Shuttle bus will depart at 5:50 after this session. Here's one. ZIASTACK is ZConverter's new OpenStack distribution, integrating backup, migration, and disaster recovery. And I had a chance to meet an IT manager who was considering to migrate over 10,000 virtual machines from the VMware to OpenStack. He was concerned about complexity of massive workload migration. That he asked me that if there was any seamless migration tool. I didn't answer. I asked him if his team had experience with their 10,000 virtual machines of backup and recovery. He replied, of course, right? They must protect their over 10,000 virtual machines using backup software, right? It would be fantastic if they could do this as their 10,000 virtual machines backup and recovery process. Now let's figure out together how we can make it possible. Let me introduce ZConverter first. We are a 20 years young company, and we have 3 entities. Why migration is complex and difficult? Why? All migration problems are generated from heterogeneity between VMware and OpenStack. VMware and OpenStack are different. Let's figure out the migration scenario. Supposing these organizations is running for different platforms. Platforms are different, hypervisors are also different, disk formats are different. How many migration scenarios are there? 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, 81 cases, right? Let me add 3 more different platforms. How many migration scenarios are there? Yeah, over 2,000, right? However, the actual number of components contributing to heterogeneity issues is over 30 per platform. Like that. I'm gonna add 70. Okay? How can we resolve these complexity problems? We have hypervisor agnostic migrations, backup, and the disaster recovery technology. As you know well, hypervisor agnostic technology is heterogeneity eliminator. ZConverter's migration process are 2 steps. The first step is capture ZIA backup format. ZIA is hypervisor agnostic backup format. The VMware's VMDK is captured in ZIA backup format. Non-VMware such as AWS, Azure, bare metal machines are also captured in ZIA backup format. All migration processes become ZIA to OpenStack. We tested ZIA to OpenStack thousands of times. we guarantee a migration recovery success rate is 99.9%. We eliminated the complex migration scenarios into single cases and tested thousands of times. The all migration process becomes ZIA to OpenStack. AWS migration process to OpenStack becomes ZIA to OpenStack. Recently, we helped organizations to migration from AWS virtual machine to OpenStack very successfully. They easily completed. Now let me talk about the 7 market requirements and the findings. I already told you I had a chance to meet an IT manager, right? We talked about the migrating the over 10,000 virtual machine. I heard some interesting news from them actually about the price changes for VMware alternatives such as Nutanix and Red Hat. As you may know well, they have adjusted their prices to up to 90% of VMware, new VMware price. Due to this, they shared their multi-hypervisor strategy to avoid any sudden price hike or vendor locking issues. Now also they wanted to have move in and move out capability across any hypervisors or any cloud platforms. Bugger, right? They emphasize the importance of virtual machine and data protection capability during the migrations. They must protect their 10,000 virtual machine during the migration, right? And also they wanted to have migration drill capability to test the migration process and estimate migration time before actual migration. AI. In addition, they wanted to automate their migration process to eliminate human errors. After successful migration drill, according to the migration drill processes, they can make a migration process automated using the OpenTofu or Terraform automation script. Now let me summarize the 7 key findings and requirements. They wanted to have a flexible move in and move out capability for virtual machine, like a container. This capability is a native capability of the container. However, virtual machine doesn't have this capability. But now, virtual machine will have flexible move in and out capability across any hypervisor or any different cloud platforms. And also, they will want to have virtual machine data protection capability, and also they wanted to have migration drill and accurate migration time estimations, and automated migration capability, and they wanted to have affordable the migration licenses or complimentary free migration licenses. The final requirement is a single migration tool that can address all these needs. They don't want to utilize multiple migration tool for a single project. Let me talk about how to meet the 7 key requirements. As we work to address all these requirements, we identified 3 technology gaps in OpenStack: the backup, disaster recovery, and the migration capabilities. As I said, a ZConverter has hypervisor agnostic, the backup, disaster recovery, and the migration technology. We integrated these three capabilities in OpenStack. Now, first capability is flexible move in and out capability by leveraging the migration technology and hypervisor agnostic technologies. Yeah, second requirement was data protection capability. As I said, the first step is capture ZR backup format. VMware's VMDK captured in ZR backup format. Non-VMware's also. Once you start the first step, you already protect your virtual machine and the data. ZR is our backup format, hypervisor backup format. Second step is a GR2 OpenStack. That's it, right? And by leveraging our disaster recovery drill, we can make a migration drill. Let me explain why disaster recovery drill becomes a migration drill. The first step is to capture the backup from production and replicate it to OpenStack side in storage repository. The second step is provision or spin up the virtual machine in OpenStack. The third step is to run like a ZR to OpenStack. This is the disaster recovery drill by leveraging our DR product. Like once we completed this DR drill successfully, the left side services and the right side services are identical, right? The purpose of a disaster recovery drill make services identical in disaster recovery data center, right? This means your DR drill becomes migration drill. In other words, if your DR drill's RTO is 5 hours, this means utilizing OpenTofu or Terraform automation script, you can make your migration completion in 5 hours. Same, DR drill is migration drill. RTO is migration time. If you successfully completed 100 virtual machines DR drill in 8 hours, you will be able to complete your 100 virtual machines migration in 8 hours. Easy, right? And this demo is cross-migration capability using a single backup solution. The first step is eliminating VMware to OpenStack. Bye-bye, right? Yeah, let me show you how we can make it possible to migrate like 10,000 virtual machines to OpenStack using a backup and recovery processes. The IT managers already had a lot of experiences with like a virtual machine backup and recovery using a backup software, right? Yeah, first step is a backup in GL backup format from OpenStack. Nutanix captured in GL backup format. Red Hat is captured in GL backup format. Now we have a backup. If we want to migrate like the Nutanix or Red Hat, OpenStack to different platform, you just need to run the GR2 Hyper-V, Microsoft Azure. Yeah, Red Hat migrated. This is a same process of backup and recovery process. We are using the backup. Migration process is recovery process. We have dissimilar hypervisor recovery capability by leveraging our hypervisor agnostic migration, backup, and the disaster recovery technologies. Nutanix just need to recover the ZIA backup from repository to target platform, or the vice versa. Now you can make like your virtual machine migration by leveraging single backup solution. Your migration process will become backup and recovery process. In other words, the IT manager, his team already had experiences 10,000 virtual machines backup and recovery by using some backup software. Their 10,000 virtual machines complex migration process will become just the backup and recovery process. They already experience it. They're already doing every single day. And also, when you replicate this backup repository to remove the backup repository, ZIA backup replication, you will have a backup, cross migration, and disaster recovery capability. It's simple. By leveraging single backup solutions, you can migrate over 10,000 virtual machines as your backup and recovery routine. And also, just replicating the ZIA backup storage repository to remote storage, you will have disaster recovery capability. Yeah, and the next step is the actual live migration demo using our backup and recovery process. This is an actual live demo. Will take like 10 to 12 minutes. We will showcase like a full backup migration, and at the second time we will show you incremental backup migration process. We prepared two demos, two live demos. The left side is the video streaming services running on the VMware. The right side is OpenStack side. The video streaming services is running on the VMware. We will showcase entire virtual machine migration from VMware left side to right side in OpenStack. Yeah, first step is capture full ZIA backup. This is a step-by-step backup process using GUI. And additionally, if you need like 100 or 1,000 virtual machine migration, you can use like a script. You can make automated all processes. Yeah, they already started the full backup, ZIA backup. It will take 4 minutes to capture the full backup from VMware's virtual machine. The operating system is a Linux.
Excuse me, can I ask a question? you started from this environment, this GUI, no, from this website. The virtual machines from VMware are already imported in this system?
No. That's a live demo.
Yeah, no, but
Located in the same data center.
yeah, but how do you point to the VMware? I saw the servers. Virtual machines are already there.
Great questions. Yeah. Before starting VMware migrations, you need to install the agent file. Once you complete agent installation, you will see the virtual machine from this GUI.
Okay.
Yeah. As well, the IT manager I met, that they are running actually over 20,000 up to 40,000. Such a company has some management software. They can automatically install any agent. Yeah, that's not a big deal, right?
So you have a ZIA agent which is running on the machine
VMware, yeah, right.
you want to get, and
Yeah, right.
this talks to a service from you on the.
Yeah, talk to a GDM software.
Okay.
Talk to. Yeah. And also the GDM can talk to target OpenStack virtual machine. Yeah, in target virtual machine also need the agent, but when you create the template images in OpenStack with agent, you don't need to install, right? When you created a provision virtual machine, you just need to click the free agent install template image file. This is the same process, backup and recovery process.
So in the whole thing, you don't need access to the VMware API. This is just going through your agent.
Direct, yeah. We don't use any API provided by the VMware. We are using our own technology.
Okay.
Independent technology, agnostic technology. Basically, ZConverter is a backup software company.
Okay.
Yeah.
A question on the source system. So you do the backup of the VMDK, but together with the backup, you have also a configuration inside the cluster.
Yeah.
Of the VM,
only the virtual machines inside.
Yes, but what about the network connectivity? Or
Network connectivity. That's a great question. Actually, if you have experienced AWS migration technology, they cannot support this type of services. You just spin up the virtual machine in advance in OpenStack side. If you're spun up a virtual machine in OpenStack can communicate together with other virtual machine, you just need to lift operating system application from VMware side to the target OpenStack virtual machine. But the other migration tool cannot support a pre-provisioned virtual machine services. Without migrating the operating system application, they cannot talk together. But you just need to make your OpenStack virtual machine communicate together. Just need to ping test.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so then after my VM has been restored on the OpenStack,
Yeah.
I will need some post-processing to reconnect maybe the IP addresses, the DNS names, and so on, so that my user
Great
can access
questions.
it.
Yeah. As well, we suppose that this project has happened in the same data center to replace the VMware to save money, right?
Mhm.
Actually, in that case, if completed full backup, yeah, he will start the recovery process. The recovery tab, select the ZIA backup. Select the OpenStack. This is a mapping process between source virtual machine and the target virtual machine. This is just the backup and recovery process. We completed the backup process. This process is the recovery process. As I already said, a recovery process can be automated by using the OpenStack or Terraform automations. No, later, after this up and running. So sorry, your question was previous.
Yes. So after the migration, so the recovery.
The POP.
How do I? Because my users, they were used to access the old application. How do they connect to the new one?
Yeah, actually, it's the same data center. That mostly, large enterprise companies use the DHCP, right? They automatically assign the IP address to the virtual machine. But sometimes, if the organizations use a static IP address, you need to some manual process. But also, if you can do that, the static IP address also can be automatically assigned by some programming. That's not a big deal. Yeah. Anyway, the IP manager was concerned about over 20,000 virtual machines migrate. It's a bit complex, headache, right? But they already experienced a lot backup and recovery, right? The process becomes backup and recovery. They already experienced it. Very simple process. Their operators can do this. They just need to replace the backup software. That's it. Process is 100% the backup and recovery process. This is a full virtual machine migration demo. The first migration product is released in 2007. ZConverter is one of the oldest migration software in the market. We started support physical machine to VMware migrations. Now we are support VMware OpenStack migration. Yeah, we helped a lot of organizations to migrate from physical machine to VMware. At the time, VMware loved ZConverter. Now we are helping the moving out from VMware to OpenStack. Complete?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This original VMware is migrated. Yeah, same, right? Same, the different timing, right? Yeah, same. We will replace like a VMware's virtual machine video using the different video to showcase incremental recovery or backup.
Okay, but how do you handle like CPU changes? So on the left side you have Intel, on the right side you have AMD, for example. I mean, Linux can handle this easy.
Yes,
but Windows is like
we don't handle Linux operating system, Windows operating system handle automatically. We don't replace any hub of Windows operating.
But it's possible to also convert.
Yeah. No issue. Yeah, we replace the video file using different video file. We will capture incremental backup from left side. Then recover incremental backup to target. We are using the video file name. Okay, we'll start. This is incremental. Yeah, can you see that? Yeah, backup type in the middle. Incremental. incremental recovery. Start recovery. But the organizations I met, their teams already did over 20,000 virtual machines in backup and recovery process, same process, but they didn't know about this because of they're concerned about the migration. But they just need to change the terminology migration to backup the recovery.
Recovery finish.
Finished?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, refresh website. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Simple, right?